Hi, I'm Chad, the Executive Director of Rogue Retreat, and welcome back to Life Skills. This is really a huge piece of what we do at Rogue Retreat. To be able to come to you and encourage you and inspire you, and we're really missing, again, I say this all the time, that we're missing the in-live where we could hear your stories back. But for now, just please pay attention to these life skills, learn what you can. We're going to talk about mental health again today. That's a big deal. Sometimes the circumstances of life have taken us down and it has really affected our mental health. And we might need to get some help on that. We might need to talk to professionals or talk to sponsors or accountability partners, people that we really believe and trust in that can speak life into us and speak hope back into us. And so I'm hoping that this life skills session is really helpful for you and valuable for you. I know for me, and I've said this before, I have to do certain things to keep my mental health going. And it's about taking time for myself. It's about debriefing. I start every morning with like an hour where I can do some reading and I can do some meditating and some praying. That's really important for me. And maybe that would be good for you too. So you'll have to find what works for you. But whatever does work for you, I want to encourage you to take time to do it. It's real easy for the pressures of life to kind of push that out. And then all of a sudden we're wondering why we're struggling mentally. And it might be that we're not taking that time and reserving that time and guarding that time really, really religiously so that we can make sure that we're as good as we can be for who we run into and the things that we do in life. So good luck, enjoy, and thanks for being part of Rogue Retreat.
Well, good morning, ladies. Thank you for joining us today. Folks, this is Andra Hollenbeck and Sherry McCowan from NAMI, and they're going to talk to us today about what they do and maybe give us some mental health tips. So, Andra?
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you for that welcome, and we're glad to be here. Both Sherry and I, we are members of NAMI Southern Oregon. And what is NAMI? Well, NAMI stands for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And we are the largest grassroots organization, mental health organization in the country. We are part of the national NAMI, and we are a local affiliate, and there's over 700 plus affiliates in the United States, and we're one of those. So NAMI is particularly special because it was started by moms and people who were having mental health conditions in their families, and they began this many years ago and continue to today. So they were looking for other ways to help with mental illness that was beyond just institutionalization and medication. They really wanted to find ways that people could live well with mental illness. So our vision is to see a world where all people affected by mental illness live healthy, fulfilling lives supported by a community that cares. And NAMI Southern Oregon advocates, educates, and supports that aim, that mission. So our programs involve education or classes, which you'll hear a little bit more about later from the peer point of view and also from the family point of view. We have family to family classes, and we'll tell you more about those at the end of the presentation. We also do a great deal of advocacy for mental health conditions in our area, trying to get better treatment, better support, better access to care. We also provide support for each other, and we have many support groups that work to do this, and we aim to create a positive awareness of mental illness and destigmatize it. So why is this important? Anyone can be affected by a mental health condition. One of our goals is to emphasize the stories of recovery, and we're very much about recovery. In our organization, we teach facts about diagnosis and treatments, and all of our programs are evidence-based and endorsed by SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. So what makes NAMI different is us, is the peers. Everyone who teaches a class, everyone who facilitates a support group, everyone who takes part in a program is a person who has been affected by mental health conditions or by a mental illness. We are here to support each other and to work together to create a better world. But that's what makes us different. We all have a lived experience with mental illness. We're not just people who've studied about it, we're people that have lived it. So we have some beliefs that are very supportive of this idea that you are the person who knows most about your condition and what you're experiencing. So with all of that, we know that no one can tell you what to do. It's no one's fault. And mental health conditions are biological conditions, just like any other condition, diabetes, kidney disease, heart disease. These are conditions that are universal, and mental health conditions share universal characteristics as well. So we also have up-to-date current information. We seek to show empathy and understanding through facts. Mental health conditions are medical illnesses. They're no one's fault. And in the end, we believe everyone can achieve their goals. 1 in 5 adults in the United States will experience a mental health condition in any given year. And many people don't get help or the treatment for reasons that can include a lack of insurance, the cost of getting treatment or an assessment, limited access to mental health care providers, shame, fear, stigma associated with mental health conditions. And sometimes in our cultural or ethnic groups, there is stigma about mental health. And people are afraid to go and get help for fear of how it might look for their families or the people around them. In the United States, only about 25% of African Americans seek mental health treatment compared to 40% of white adults. So this cultural concern is an important one. Stigma is the major reason people don't seek help. So what is stigma? It is stereotyping, labeling, bullying, discriminating against anyone because of a mental health condition. Many people mistakenly believe that mental health conditions make someone dangerous or violent, and this is an example of stigma, when the truth is more people with mental health conditions are victims of violence than perpetrate violence. So we fight stigma through facts and information. The more information and facts people can have about mental health conditions, the better our world will be. We look at the medical, biological, environmental aspects, as well as emotional and social consequences of mental health. So it's no one's fault when someone has a mental illness. It's not their fault. It's not the parent's fault. It's not the sister's brother's fault. They are usually stem from some sort of catastrophic stressor, something that will trigger something that's inside of ourselves already. And we follow something called the biopsychosocial model, which means we like to look at the whole person when it comes to mental health and a mental health condition, and make sure that someone is getting not just medication and not just therapy, but that there's a whole contingency of support for that person, cultural, social, psychological, and then also biological supports. So there's a little picture of that model. And with that, we also are firm believers in a kind of in terms of treatment, we really feel that there needs to be multifaceted treatment. So mental health disorders should be approached with a health provider. And it's very important to have both physical and psychological health providers. It's very important to have family and peer support. The more families know and know about mental health conditions, the more they can support in a positive and effective way people who have some sort of mental health condition. And then we also believe in peer support. We're very strong on that the people who are best able to give us the kind of support we need are the peers in our lives, people who have similar experience. We are really trying, all of our classes and all of our presentations aim to focus on the positive. We try to make sure that we are problem-based, problem-solving based kind of organization, and that we aim to improve all of our situations by becoming more aware, changing attitudes towards mental health. And we found that our programs have been very effective in changing people's attitudes toward mental health conditions and mental illness to something that can be seen as recovery as opposed to a lifelong sentence. Okay, so in terms of skills, one of the things we really do try to teach in our classes and our support groups is the I statement. And many people might have heard of I statements before, but here's just a sample of some I statements. I'm going to show you some I statements, and then we're going to look at what you statements do. So an I statement is where you take responsibility for your own kind of experience. Sorry, oops, I went too fast. So it's a very short, direct manner. You say, I am disappointed, or I am discouraged, or whatever your feeling might be, and what caused it when the agreement that we had was not kept. And then you can say also what you want. I would like us to keep our agreements. So it's always, the person is always at the center of the communication. They take complete responsibility for their feelings and opinions. They're not pointing a finger. They're pointing the finger back at them. And it's a little bit easier to be strong and unwavering when you're coming from a place of how I feel. This is my experience. This is my feeling. This is what I'm feeling. And you can say what you mean. For example, I don't like it. So I don't like it when people raise their voice at me, for example. When we move away from I statements with our loved ones, we tend to feel defensive. The person we're talking to will get defensive. It sounds like it's blaming. Let's see, she's pointing her finger, and no one likes to have their finger pointed at them. It makes assumptions about the other person's motives. You disrespect me. Well, that might not necessarily be so. You could feel disrespected, but that might not be the intention of the person who is speaking to you. It generalizes a specific problem. So when there's a specific problem, it's important to speak specifically about it. And the accusations can snowball, and this is actually what causes a lot of escalation. So with that, I think my presenting partner, Sherry, will go over some ways to calm ourselves to get into a place where we can use I statements.
So I'm going to talk about something called diaphragmatic breathing, and something that is really helpful in a tenseful situation, or when you are stressed, is focusing on your breathing. And if you put your hand on your chest and your hand on your stomach and just take in a breath like you normally do. Now, for some of you, you might have felt your chest raise. Some of you might have felt your stomach expand, but I would suspect that a lot of you, your chest felt like it expanded. And when we do diaphragmatic breathing, we want to pretend like we have a balloon in our stomach and we're filling it with air. And so we want to, you can do this sitting in a chair comfortably, or you can do it lying on the floor. And so you want to take in the air, and you want to feel your stomach expanding. So try that now. And wait a couple of seconds, and then you want to release the balloon and let all the air out with a nice swooshing breath. What this does is it fully envelops your body with air, and you get more oxygen in your system. Now, when you try this at first, some of you might feel lightheaded, and that can happen, and that will go away quickly. If that does happen, just kind of relax, and then it will go away. But if you practice for even 3 to 5 minutes a day, diaphragmatic breathing, you will find that it helps reduce stress, releases the muscle tension in your body, and makes you just feel better. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Sherry. So we'll go on to some of our presentations, support groups, and classes, as we talked about before. Basics is a class for parents of children who have mental health conditions. And that's something that can be found, all of the information that we have can be found on our website at NAMISouthernOregon.org. I'll let Sherry talk about our peer-to-peer class.
The peer-to-peer class is an 8-week course for adults living with mental illness. It's taught by 2 peers who also share living with a mental illness. We meet weekly for a couple of hours, and it goes into skills that help build on the things really that we've already been talking about. We also get a chance to share our story and learn what that feels like. We learn about mental health diagnoses. And we do a lot of I statement practice and a lot of relaxation techniques.
The other class we have is a family-to-family class, which covers many of the same things in the peer-to-peer class, but it goes into more depth about how best to support someone who is a friend or family member, someone you love, a loved one, who has a mental health condition. It's very helpful and is pretty transformative to the people who take the class. Do you want to talk about In Our Own Voice, Sherry?
Sure. In Our Own Voice is for those who want to share their story with the public. And you get trained and learn how to put a story together about what your experience has been living with mental illness. And there's opportunities to do presentations throughout the community.
Ending the Silence is another free presentation that is aimed towards young people, middle school, high school, and college age students. It's done by a parent and a youth, the parent of someone who has a young person with a mental health condition and a youth who has recovered from a mental health condition. It's definitely a really good program. And there are 3 types of Ending the Silence, one for students, one for school staff, and one for families. And then we have our family and friends presentation, which is what we've pulled some of our information from for this particular presentation. But this is a short 90-minute seminar or 4-hour seminar for people who are interested in learning just a little bit more about mental health conditions and how best to support people with mental health conditions. It's also free. All of our programs, classes, presentations, and support groups are free. And why don't you talk about support groups, Sherry?
So the Connection Recovery Support Group meets Thursdays at 5:30 via Zoom. It's for adults living with mental illness. We talk about ways to live with our mental illness in striving for recovery. We do a lot of brainstorming on good self-care, and we do practice different breathing techniques. And this group meets weekly. I'll let you talk about the family support group.
Right, and the family support group is similar right now. We're meeting on Zoom as well. Our in-person groups will start up again once we feel like it's safe. We meet weekly, the first through fourth Wednesdays in the evening on Zoom from 6 to 7:30. And it's for family, friends, or anyone who has a loved one who is living with a mental health condition. we do a lot of the similar type things, share our stories, support, do problem solving, share resources, share ideas, communication skills, that sort of thing. Advocacy is our last prong of our organization. We take action through going to town hall meetings, lobbying at the state. We have a program called Vote for Mental Health, so that we vote, so that the conversation about mental health comes up in people's platforms and political stances. We fight for policies that improve care, and we are definitely interested in programs and policies that divert mental illness, people who are with a mental health condition or symptomatic, diverting them from the justice system. There is our website. It might be undergoing a change. We're going to be redesigning our page, but this is our website, and you can see there's a place for you to join NAMI. And one of the things that makes us a powerful organization is the people who get involved. When you get involved in NAMI, when you join a support group, when you take a training, you make our organization and our work stronger. So I would really urge you to check us out online and consider joining NAMI and becoming an active member by participating in one of our programs, and then maybe even leading one of our programs. Any questions? Or do you want to add anything, Susan?
I do have a question. You mentioned your groups, but not the time. So the one that meets on Wednesday, what time is that?
6 o'clock, from 6 to 7:30.
Okay, and the same for the ones that meet on Thursday?
Thursday is 5:30 to 7.
Okay.
There's our NAMI Southern Oregon website. It says Join or Renew NAMI. And remember, we never give up hope. We are always working towards recovery. So, yeah, call us if you have questions or want to get involved.
Hello, my name is Scott Gruber, and been chosen here to do a video spotlight, hopefully shedding some hope and promise for people coming in that don't understand how the program works. I'm a client, member here at Hope Village, one of Rogue Retreat's better programs, and I started out homeless. I was homeless for a year and a half, living out of my truck here in Oregon, and a long history of drug addiction and switching addictions when I got here to Oregon from Florida, and lots of bad stuff, and just always ended up in the same place. I went through residential treatment, graduated, went through outpatient treatment and graduated here locally, and ended up applying for a Rogue Retreat while I was in the dad's program. And 8 months later, here I am, successfully here. What can I say about this place? It's great. It's fantastic. It's way better than living in the bush. That's what I can tell you. Charlie, my case manager, Charlie Hale, is absolutely, he's an asset in my life and fundamental. I mean, everything I've ever hoped for prayer and inspiration. The guy's just bar none. He's top notch, top shelf. Living here is really nice if you approach coming into this place in the right sense of mind. I try to wake up every day and do something positive. I have positive things on my mind. I get rid of the negativity, focus on you and getting your life in order and getting on your A game. And that's what it's all about. If you come in here motivated to do that, motivated to get a job, because this place is a stepping stone. It's not a place to get complacent. It's a 6-month program. They do, if you need an extension after that, for a month or two or whatever, to acquire more funds to get into a place or what have you, because you're working towards it and saving money, they do that as long as you're doing everything you're supposed to do here. If you do your chore and you don't fail inspections on your room, you show up to the meetings that they have on Tuesdays, and treat this place as a stepping stone and take it, seize the opportunity, because they're giving you an opportunity here to save money. They put money away out of your rent towards savings for you as well. And if you get a job and you're working and saving money and doing positive things in your life to get better, it's a breeze. Living here is great. It's absolutely great. Stay out of the drama. Just work on you and do what you got to do to get your life better. And that's what it's really about. All positive motions, climbing that ladder, climbing those steps to get back on top of your A game. And that's where I'm at. I've been here 5 months now. Looking for a place to move into at this point, which is difficult out there because the fires and the COVID-19 have made it really hard to find rentals. So I've had a lot of barriers, and everybody's got different barriers and different hoops they jump through. All the advice I can give you is turn all that will and worry over to God and be grateful for the things you have. I wake up every morning grateful that I still have my truck, that it wasn't impounded, that I have a place and a roof over my head. I'm grateful to have people in my life that help my positivity every day, like Charlie Hale, Scotty, and all the whole team here is fantastic. It really is. That's all I think I can say is just be positive and do what you got to do to get better. And every day, better and better and better. And you come to plateaus. Like when I got here, I had to get my license back. It took me a few months of working to get everything paid up. I finally got it back. And those are accomplishments that you hit plateaus and levels and when you're climbing the stairs. But it's all part of, the whole territory of getting yourself back on your A game, back out there to be a productive member of society, working and paying your bills and doing what you got to do to live life peacefully and happy. Got my kids back out of foster care. They're happy and doing well. And I'm thinking my next maneuver is I seized this opportunity and I took it as a positive thing, worked it. If you work this program, it will work for you. And definitely pray because it helps. And that's where I'm at today. And I'm going to be moving into a place of my own, a good job, and moving on, This place is a stepping stone, just as is the shelter, just as is Tent City. They're stepping stones. You're not there forever. You see what opportunity you have there and what positivity you can take out of it. The shelter, the food, the bathrooms, whatever it is, showers, laundry, it's all part of it. And you work that program and stay positive and get back on your A game. Thank you very much for listening.
Hey there, welcome back again to Life Skills. I hope that you liked this episode. I was just getting ready to take a walk actually in this nice fall weather. And I just wanted to say, hey, that's a really good thing to do for your mental health. Walks are wonderful, getting out in nature, just taking some time away from the stress and busyness of life. It's a great thing. And just like the ladies from NAMI said, they have these cool support groups where it's not just support, but it's also education. And I know for me, when I know a little bit more about something that I'm going through, it makes it a little bit easier to go through it. And it gives me a few more tools so that I can go through it and come out the other side stronger. So be sure to check those support groups out. And that's it for this week, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week.